Hello and welcome to the University of GLMI's Fast 5 series. My name is Rachel Cahalan and today's video is Billing with Demographics. Today we'll go through 5 areas of the patient's demographic file that is important to billing: patient information, clinical information, physician information, the insurance ID and notes, and last, guarantor information. To access Demographic, choose Demographic from Ubiquity's main menu. Then today I'll choose Update. Next you'll select your client to open their demographic file. On the first screen of the demographic file we have our patient information. All of the following information is required for processing your claims. First, the patient first and last name, then their address, and this must be their home address, the patient's date of birth, and this also must be shown on the patient's card, their gender, and then also marital status may be required for secondary billing. Now we're going to jump over to our claim for Hannah Holbrook, and you can see the information that we just went over in the demographic file here on your claim. By the number 1 you see the patient's name, then 2 their address, 3 the birth date, and 4 we have their gender. And in this instance this is not a secondary claim, so marital status did not apply. Now for clinical information in the demographic file, first you can see we have a referral source, and you need a valid referral source in order to enter the admission code on your claim. For program, you would select home health, hospice, or private duty, and you need your status to be active. It has to be active in order to bill out of the Ubiquity system. Fourth, we have our start of care date. This must be a valid date that matches the first billable visit and the clinical from date. Then you have your discharge date. And this will go on your claim as your end date, and the system will not bill for contacts entered for dates after the discharge date. This will also change your patient status code from 30, which is active, to 01, discharged, or 20, which is expired. Next, you have your MSA code, which is not required for billing, and then your county code, which is required for billing. This tells the insurance how much to pay the provider based on your region. You can see on our claim, inside the red box, that you now have an admission code, and this was derived from your referral source entered in demographics. You can also see your start of care date, and up in the right hand corner you can see that our end date is the discharge date of July 12th. Now we'll look at source code. In the past, if an agency overlapped themselves with a new episode within existing 60 days, they would choose the source code C. Source code B has now been replaced with condition code 47 as of 2010, and this is an overlap with another agency. For example, if a patient moves within the 60-day period of services with another agency, then checking this box will automatically code the claim correctly. Now we'll move from the demographic information tab to the care team. You can see on the top right in the physician section where you would enter your primary physician name. That physician name and NPI number must be on every claim in box 76 for billing purposes. You can see on the claim now in box 76 the physician's NPI and their first and last name. Now let's move to the insurance information. You can see here that we've entered Medicare for our patient's primary insurance. If the patient had any additional insurance, they would list them below here. Next, you have the patient's policy number, and then for commercial insurance, you would enter the group number. At the top of our screen here, you can see on the claim where the patient's insurance information pulls from demographics. Now let's look down at insurance notes. These notes are for internal use only and will not show on your claim. For insurance collection notes, we encourage you to place any notes that are related to the claim for this AR number. For insurance coverage notes, all eligibility and coverage information is entered. If you'd like to add any additional insurance notes, you can click the Notes button on the bottom right of the demographic file. Last, we have guarantor information. A guarantor is a person or a company who agrees to be responsible for the debt or obligation of another. Information for a guarantor to our patients is entered here. You can see that I've entered the information here as an example, but our patient has Medicare, so they actually would not have a guarantor. Now that concludes our video for billing with demographics. This was also the last video for Billing Services series on how various aspects of the Ubiquity system interact with billing. However, billing services will continue with the next several Fast 5 videos. Next week, we'll have the first out of 2 videos on insurance eligibility. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you continue to follow the University of GLMI's Fast 5 series.